Let's talk about that box in your kitchen that heats up leftovers in 2 minutes flat. We all use it, but there's this nagging question that just won't go away. Are microwaves actually dangerous? Well, let's find out what the science really has to say.
I mean, these are the big fears, right? Are these things secretly zapping our cells? Are they giving us cancer? Are they basically nuking all the good stuff, all the nutrients right out of our food? We're going to tackle every single one of these.
It all seems to boil down to this one single, very scary sounding word: radiation. The second you hear it, your brain just jumps to the worst-case scenario. But what does it really mean when we're talking about a microwave oven?
To really get to the bottom of this, we've got to rewind. We have to go back in time. Because this fear, it isn't new. It's actually kind of a historical hangover. The story of why we're afraid of microwaves starts with the story of when they were invented.
So check this out. Microwave ovens pop up in the 1940s, right at the beginning of the nuclear age. All of a sudden, that word radiation stopped being just a boring term for scientists. In the public's mind, it meant atomic bombs. It meant fallout. It meant this invisible, terrifying danger. And, that association, it really stuck. It created this powerful myth that's still with us today.
And that right there, that is the core of the whole misunderstanding. People hear radiation from a microwave and think it's the same radiation you'd get from a nuclear disaster. But, as we're about to see, that could not be more wrong.
Okay, so this next part is absolutely crucial. This is the science that changes everything. Seriously, once you understand this one simple concept, the whole fear just kind of melts away.
So, microwaves are just a type of energy moving through space. They're on something called the electromagnetic spectrum. And look what else is on there with them. The radio waves for your car stereo, the Wi-Fi signal you're probably using right now, Bluetooth, even the actual light that's letting you see me. It's all part of the same big family of energy.
And this is the million-dollar slide. It's the key to everything. See, that spectrum is split into two totally different teams. On one side, you have the heavy hitters, high-energy, ionizing radiation, things like X-rays and gamma rays. This is the stuff that is powerful enough to knock electrons off your atoms and damage your DNA. But microwaves, they live way over on the other side with the low-energy, non-ionizing team. They simply do not have the raw power to mess with your DNA. It's not even a question.
So, let's put it another way. Non-ionizing radiation has enough energy to make molecules wiggle and vibrate, but it just doesn't have the muscle to actually break things on a cellular level. It's kind of like trying to shatter a window by throwing a sponge at it. It just can't happen.
So if it's not breaking things, how in the world does it cook your food? Well, it's actually really simple. The oven shoots out these microwaves. The tiny water molecules in your food absorb that energy, and it makes them start to vibrate like crazy. All that super fast vibration creates friction, and that friction creates heat. It's the exact same thing that happens when you rub your hands together to warm them up.
And that's the entire trick. Seriously, there are no nuclear reactions happening. It's not a tiny science experiment on your counter. It's just simple, straightforward physics.
Okay, so now that we've got the science down, let's circle back to those big fears we started with and debunk these myths once and for all.
This is the big one, right? The one that everyone worries about. So let's just ask it directly. Is there a link between using your microwave and cancer? The answer, based on everything we just learned, is a clear, confident no. Because microwaves are non-ionizing, they physically lack the energy to break DNA bonds. And if you can't break the DNA, you can't cause the cell mutations that can lead to cancer. The power just isn't there. End of story.
And on top of the basic physics, you've got the engineering. Your microwave is basically a little metal fortress. The box itself and that mesh screen on the door create a cage that keeps almost all of the microwaves trapped safely inside while it's running.
All right, on to myth number 2. Is microwaving your vegetables basically stripping them of all their nutritional value, turning them into sad, empty husks?
Now here's where things get really interesting. It turns out that any kind of cooking is going to cause some nutrient loss. The things that really matter are how long you cook something, how hot you cook it, and how much water you use. It's not really about the method itself.
And this might actually blow your mind. Because microwaving is so fast, and because it usually uses way less water, it's often one of the best cooking methods for holding on to vitamins. Look at this chart. If you boil your broccoli, a lot of the good stuff just leaches out into the water. But a quick zap in the microwave, that can preserve way more of the nutrients.
So we've looked at the history, we've looked at the science, we've busted the myths. Let's put it all together.
What is the final verdict? What's the main takeaway here?
Okay, let's run through it. First, they use safe, low-energy, non-ionizing radiation, not the dangerous kind.
Second, because of that, they can't damage your DNA, which means there's no logical or scientific link to cancer.
And third, far from being nutrient killers, their speed and efficiency actually make them one of the best ways to keep the vitamins in your food intact.
You know, when you really boil it all down, the entire fear of the microwave oven doesn't come from the machine itself. It comes from a decades-old misunderstanding of a single word. It's a ghost from the nuclear age that's been haunting our kitchens for way too long.
So that leaves us with one final thought. Once we understood the actual science, this huge myth just fell apart completely. It makes you wonder, doesn't it? What other science myths do we just accept as true without ever really questioning them? Thanks for joining me.